Dosunmu wasn't in the starting lineup at that point like he is tonight, coming over in that trade with Chicago. And a big piece of the Wolves' success as of late has Ayo been. And that's a really early turnover on Anthony Edwards and the Wolves.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe smothering him defensively, giving him very little room to operate along that sideline, forcing the turnover.
And here's VJ now, named the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for the first time in his career yesterday. Had a great chat with VJ about that pregame. We'll run that for you at halftime, so be sure to stay with us. And on cue, VJ hit the fadeaway.
Well, and what makes it impressive about winning the Conference Player of the Rookie of the Month is the fact that he's doing it in April or for this March, and the fact that it's deep into the season where most guys get kind of tired and they wither out. He seems to be thriving right now.
No rookie wall for this guy. We talked to him about that and more. It was a great little chat.
Yeah, don't miss it. It was actually very interesting.
Yeah, it was very fun. Maxey trying to get it back to Embiid, and the Sixers will turn it up. Yeah, rookie wall, schmookie wall.
Well, and there was times where he was also running the point for this team, too, with the depleted lineup due to injuries. So he's had to adjust his game back and forth throughout this first campaign for him.
Wolves get a couple of bites at the apple, but don't get anything out of it. Maxey back to Embiid. That one rims off. After the game on Wednesday, Maxey was actually joking with VJ, who's demanding that Tyrese now call him PG1, point guard 1. Those two have a very fun relationship. The reach-in foul there on Barlow. Again, he was gone for 6 games because of some soreness in his right knee.
I think it's just a precautionary thing, too. If you see some swelling in the knee and you know the playoffs are right around the corner, you could afford to sit him out now as opposed to not being able to lose him during the playoffs.
No doubt about that, yeah. Lakers may be experiencing that. Luka Doncic going down with potentially an injury that's going to keep him out for a while last night. Edgecombe can't get that one to go. Barlow tracks down the loose ball. Paul George coming off that great performance on Wednesday and picking up where he left off.
And again, Dominic Barlow with the rebound. That time a floorboard, finding his teammate ready to shoot.
And Maxey was also talking about Barlow after Wednesday's win. And that's going to be a foul on Maxey. So 3 free throws. Delaware State Player of the Year back in the day.
Moving forward.
It took him, understandably, a little while to get settled in after that trade from the Knicks a couple years ago.
And all his friends are there. That's the other thing, too. It's not just leaving another team, which is by itself an ordeal, something that you have to learn to overcome. But he's also leaving a heck of a bond there in New York.
George's pass deflected and into the hands of DiVincenzo. Dosunmu. The kick out to Edwards. Short on that 3. A rare miss, as we mentioned in the open. A career high from beyond the arc this season. Down to Embiid it goes. The finger roll doesn't go. Neither does the tap it.
Battling in there with Julius for good post position.
Randall through the hands of Gobert. Takes a friendly Wolves bounce right into the hands of Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, just kind of, he was spotting up at the 3-point line. Saw the loose fruit.
Maxey had 28 in Wednesday's win in D.C. High off the window for 2.
Just so good when he keeps his dribble alive. That little hesitation dribble freezes the defender, then high off the glass and in, outside the reach of Gobert.
DiVincenzo, an air ball. Gobert tied up by Barlow. He led the way in that win just after the All-Star break in Minnesota. Tyrese had 39 points in that one. Sixers didn't have Embiid or Paul George. This guy was available, but the Wolves just kind of sluggish in that one. That tough shot off. Here comes Maxey now.
Yeah, Maxey coming over to help VJ on Edwards that time, making life difficult for Ant.
Waiting for Embiid to get into the front court. Barlow on the baseline, and he's fouled by Randall. A great... Again, just doing all the little things this year. Just 22 years old. Barlow undrafted in the offseason, betting on himself, hoping that if he played well before the trade deadline, there might be a standard contract waiting for him after it. And there was. Now, hopefully going to be a Sixer for a while.
Well, and you up-and-coming future ballers out there, how is Dominic succeeding? He didn't come in here expecting to get 30 points a night. He looks around and sees, we've got plenty of scores. What does this team need? Defense and rebounding.
Showtime, Barlow! Almost like he knew that we were talking about him. The block on one end and the hammer on the other.
Case in point.
Exhibit
A, exactly.
I wonder, it looked like he did have an earpiece in when we were down on the floor.
We certainly appreciate the timing of it all.
Oh, great stuff by Dominic. And such a great teammate off the floor as well. Just consistently
ask for plays and ask for shots. The rest of the guys would look at him and go, wait a second, you just got here, as Randall responds. But what he has done is he has carved out a position, a little niche for him. Hustle, climbing the boards, and giving you extra effort plays, and it works for him.
George back to Embiid. And still looking for the elbow jumper to fall. George in the middle of 4 Timberwolves comes away with the floorboard.
Comes dribbling out of that crowd.
Showing off the handle. He's been mentoring this guy. PG's been mentoring our road.
Oh, my
step
goodness.
back. Looks so smooth, though.
Sure does. Covers a lot of ground with that step back, too. Defenders have to lunge at him.
6 of those in D.C. on Wednesday did Paul George. That one way too strong from DiVincenzo.
Yeah, Paul was able to get out to Dante. No open looks for DiVincenzo.
Tyrese has a step back of his own. Barlow
Look at this.
underneath, kicking out. PG can't connect from 3.
Again, looking for a shooter as soon as he gets that offensive rebound. No one would fault him if he just put it right back up himself and wanted 2 for himself, but no. He is looking to maximize each trip down the floor.
Masumu around and off, trying to use that Gobert screen. Barlow another rebound. Good pace to this one so far. Already halfway through our first quarter. And the Sixers will use their first. Maxey down to Embiid. And Embiid gets on the score sheet with that baseline jumper.
Yeah, nice little baseline screen, too. Little action underneath the basket to free up Joel.
All 5 starters now. Onto the scoreboard for your Sixers. Anthony Edwards has 5 to lead the way for Minnesota.
Yeah, he's just so smooth and wasting very little movement or energy. Everything effective.
Nice ball movement here by the Sixers, swinging it around the horn.
Oh.
And then Embiid took a little too long. Naz Reid with a block there.
Heck of a recovery from
And
Reid.
then Barlow, speaking of recoveries, a great block on Reid, but then Reid keeps his composure and puts it up again. Oubre with 18 points. Also had 4 steals. He was big on both ends in Minnesota, end of February. Joel Embiid, too strong from 3. Still looking for that shot again. Did not play Wednesday, out due to illness, and fought through that illness Monday down in Miami. So still trying to refine that rhythm.
Little muted effort here right now at the beginning for Joel.
And Edwards didn't play last night with an illness of his own. Good defense by Grimes. So don't have to get off a shot immediately, but fairly quickly after it comes in. Gobert heaves.
Why
Yeah,
not?
the Sixers will definitely
Oh my
allow
goodness,
that.
we encourage that. By all means, sir.
Dozen apiece. Back to Embiid. Favorite spot from beyond the arc.
Oh!
Having a first quarter to remember.
He caught that down by his hip with 2 hands and then brought it up and flushed it in a crowd.
The start for DB, Dominic Barlow. Here's Bones Highland, another Wilmington, Delaware native, just like DiVincenzo. Reid can't get it to go.
That's good defense from Dominic, not fouling Reid and bailing him out, making him shoot over him. We talked about contest shots.
Tyrese Maxey. And Ala, similar to our first quarter score, here at South Philly, very low scoring affair so far as NBA basketball is concerned. But Ala Abdelavi, Kate Scott with you. And this guy looks great in our first 12 minutes. Paul George starts with the basketball here in quarter 2. Shot clock winding down. Oubre into the paint, flips it up. And the bouncing ball tracked down by Naz Reid.
Good hustle from Reid to get to that loose ball. Crowd thought Randall walked.
This guy got away with a walk just before we went to commercial break, and he gets the roll there. DJ Edgecombe, reigning Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month as of yesterday. Again, talked to BJ before the game. Paul and I did. We're going to have that interview at halftime. Adem Bono with a baseline jam.
Good drive from Paul George. That drew 2 defenders to him, and that left Adem alone along that baseline. Nice bounce pass to find Bona for the finish.
21-19 Sixers.
Ooh, good pump fake.
Wow, great move. Great move by the former 6th man of the year, Naz Reid. Such an important part of this team's success. He comes off the bench, but he could easily be a starter. George, the spin, the fade, and the finish for PG.
Yeah, Reid at one time was an all-star in his career, so he does have the accolades, and he's got the respect of opposing teams as well. Good move.
Randall tried to sneak it around to him, but couldn't hang on. Sixers ball.
Yeah, a little too hard of a pass headed towards Reid. Just could not get his hands on it.
Paul George playing a little point forward here.
Good pass.
Great ball movement. Kelly Oubre Jr. No, they're going to call
Smart move on Reid. Yeah, he took the charge.
Offensive foul on Adem Bono.
But that extra step is what caused the contact and the charge.
Randall trying to sneak that one inside to Anderson, and he couldn't hang on either, so back-to-back turns by the Wolves.
Yeah, you can't really fault Randall except for the fact that he's not getting it to his teammates, but the idea is a good one on both occasions, just unable to connect.
Third turnover on Minnesota. Sixers with 6 turns, but Minnesota's only scored 3 points off of those 6 turnovers. Paul George, just a veteran move there, drawing the foul on Anderson. Full and half season ticket memberships should be guaranteed in the first round.
Yeah, I'm not a believer of looking over your shoulder and around at what other people are doing anyway. It can be too distracting and take away from the task that you have at hand. So yeah, handle your business and the rest will fall where it needs to fall.
Highland jumping in.
You can see his ability, freezing the defender, little crossover, then exploding to the basket.
Yeah, he's really found a nice home in Minnesota after bouncing around first couple of years in the NBA. Bones was a Denver Nugget. He was a Clipper with Paul George. Went Grimes short. Here's Highland again.
Fast he is with the ball.
Yeah.
Oh.
And 5 T-Wolves. Foul on this guy, VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, pull up.
That's Randall on him, way out near midcourt.
Use his aggressiveness against him, go right at him.
Trying to step through and swing it up, couldn't get it to the rim.
Pretty good defense from Randall there. Height playing a big part of it, giving VJ a lot to shoot over.
Good hands by Grimes. It looked like he knocked it off, so probably, if you're the Sixers, you don't want to review that and just deal with the out-of-bounds play as Highland hits a three. So a little 8-0 Wolves run here. Earlier in this second quarter, again, this was the difficult quarter for the Sixers Wednesday against the Wizards. They exploded in the third for 47 points after a dismal second quarter. See if they can bounce back here. Nice move by Kelly Oubre Jr.
Yeah, gathered himself. Reed was on him. He was able to shed the defender for just a split second. Enough time to get that shot up in front of the rim and in.
DiVincenzo, catch and shoot. Rebound by George.
Nobody in front of him. Why not?
DJ, the driving kick. Kelly Oubre Jr. from outside.
Yeah, why wait? Forcing the defense to collapse around him. He finds his teammate spotting up in the corner, ready to let it fly.
So, had been an 8-0 Wolves run. Kelly responding with a little 5-0 run of his own. Randall sheds Embiid and jams it.
Yeah, a little hip action there just to get rid of Joel.
And Embiid holding that right side where he strained that oblique a couple of weeks ago. The handle from PG, and he's fouled by Anderson. You just have to rest it. There's no magic potion that can make it better.
Yeah, and coughing and sneezing and all that stuff certainly does not help the cause.
Embiid back for the Sixers tonight. PG splits the free throws. First guy in double figures. He's got 11. Ties us at 31. The 6th time we have been tied already tonight.
In a low-scoring affair here.
Anderson on the spin.
Both teams having to work for every bucket they get. You see how much work Anderson has put in. They have run that play for him twice now, both times resulting in buckets. The little solo post-up in the middle of the lane.
Kelly Oubre Jr. can't connect from the free throw line. Kind of feels like, I know there was college basketball played here in South Philly while we were away. Women's Final Four tonight. Men's Final Four tomorrow. Kind of a college-esque score. Gobert met at the rim by George and Embiid. Anderson, no. Embiid comes away with it.
Good pass there.
Behind the Wolves for two.
Yeah, Highland, I'm not sure what position he was trying to play. If he was going to try to stop Joel's penetration, but he was way off of Quentin Grimes. Nice lead pass, taking him to the basket for two.
Tied again at 33. Midway through this second quarter. Anderson with the soft touch off the glass.
Even his fast moves are slow. Be hungry now.
I know. I could go for some French fries, really hot, crispy right now.
Nice crispy nuggets.
Gobert the rebounds after the Grimes miss. Quarter pounder of cheese.
Oh, stop.
I know you're a Big Mac guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, McFlurry. What else we got? Okay, we're done. Not straight for three.
Well, we said it earlier, right? He's missed a couple. He's missed three, to be exact. His first three, Reed, that is not going to deter him. He will continue to be a threat and shoot it.
It's been a rock fight from outside so far. The Sixers 2 of 10. The Timberwolves 4 for 18 from three. Embiid short on that three. And still hasn't found it. Joel now 1 for 9. He's 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Dealing with illness and dealing with that oblique as well that he might have just tweaked again a few minutes ago. Reed has it knocked away. Just able to save it. Shot clock winding down.
Heck of a save, too.
Zuma. Highlands. Heaves and hits. Bones Highland. The local.
For the three opportunity. Wide open was Highland in that corner.
Leading all scores. He's got 14 points in 14 minutes. Again, a Wilmington, Delaware native. An incredible story. I'm sure most of you already know it because he was a high school star down in Delaware, but an awful house fire when he was a junior, in the NBA.
You know, if you're Chris Finch, you know you've got a guy out there who is resilient and tough.
Yeah. 44-37, Minnesota in front. 3.5 to go in our first half.
Trying some away from the ball action to free up Edwards.
Gobert, no. Great defense again by George and Embiid. And then Gobert got a piece of George. That's why PG is down. VJ smartly just takes it away from his teammate. Knew he had to get it across the timeline.
BJ looked like he took his lunch money or something. It's like, dude, we got to go. Give me that.
The bus is coming.
Right?
PG touching it up. Performance Wednesday in D.C. 15-7 for PG already tonight.
That first quarter would definitely qualify as a rock fight. Both teams shooting in the 30s from the field.
Joel Embiid, okay, let's hope that gets him off to a good start in this second half. Very quiet in his first 2 quarters tonight. Embiid just 1 for 10. Second half of a back-to-back for Randall and the Timberwolves. They fell to the Pistons in Detroit last night. And Randall draws the contact, hits the...
To position, that's what makes it more liable to be a foul called on you.
And Randall, the first Wolves starter in double figures with that made free throw. Just 8 points so far for Edwards, just 4 for Tyrese Maxey, just 2 for VJ Edgecombe. All of our stars quiet in the first half. See who gets going first here in this third quarter. Maybe it's this guy, Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month in March. Edgecombe has it blocked by Edwards. That was the Sixers with those 9 blocks in the first half. That is block number 4 for Minnesota. And DiVincenzo hits from the corner.
Yeah, button up on that corner.
Maxey finds his spot and answers right back for the Sixers.
Great response from your Sixers. 1-3 deserves another.
Just the third three-pointer tonight for the Sixers. 3 for 14. DiVincenzo from the other side of the floor. That's off front iron. And that was how the Sixers shorthanded again. They didn't have Paul George or Embiid in Minnesota. End of February. They hit 21 three-pointers en route to that short. Dosunmu, his second tonight. And this is his 5th game back since that 25-game suspension. And coming into tonight in the last 4, averaging 28 points per game on 51% shooting. He's been electric.
Now, this is the best we've seen him in the red, white, and blue uniform for 2 years now.
Randall. So back and forth we go. Couldn't be a George Randall battle in this second half.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves like that matchup. They think it favors them, so they've been giving it to Julius a couple times now to go at Paul.
Randall's got a dozen. 55 of 48, Minnesota lead. George turns, fires, leaves that one short.
We'll stay with him even when he comes off of screens. Did a decent job that time of getting a hand up and challenging that shot, hence it was short.
Paul now 1 of 5 from 3 again. As Ala mentioned, Sixers struggling as a team shooting that shot tonight. Good defense there by Barlow. Maxey keeps it himself. The left-handed finger roll is good for Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, looks so comfortable letting that one go, too. And that's not an easy shot. Gobert breathing down his neck with that left-handed finish.
9 now for Maxey. Dosunmu up and over the trailing Edgecombe. That wasn't an easy shot either.
Speaking of left-handed finishes.
Yeah. George.
Nobody there.
Yeah. He's looking to drive and kick to Barlow, but Dom crashed towards the cup. So Minnesota basketball.
Yeah, Dominic anticipated a shot going up. That's why he attacked. He should have been and was initially in that far corner.
Edwards can't connect on the sidestep triple. Maxey. DJ off the heel. Embiid picks up the floorboard. And then it's fouled by DiVincenzo. Smart play there by the big fella. 10th rebound tonight for the big T-shirt as voted on by our fans. And Ala and I have seen a preview. It is a very cool tee. So visit Sixers.com/tickets to get your tickets, or email or call us as well if you don't have your tickets yet. Again, Pistons first in the East. Just got past these Wolves last night in Detroit. Edwards misses the wide open jam.
Don't see that often. The elevation was enough. He just didn't finish.
Maxey the driving dish. Barlow. Short on the corner 3. I don't know if I've ever seen that from Edwards. Happens to everyone at some point. Just got away with a shove on VJ. Edwards a step back on the baseline. That one doesn't go either. Gobert swatted by Barlow. Block party still raging here in South Philly. Barlow off the Embiid dish.
Pass into the middle, centering the basketball. Opens up options for your Sixers in transition.
10 blocks and counting for the Sixers. Barlow with 3 of them. George almost had the deflection. Dosunmu no. Barlow another rebound.
Good job of not fouling Ayo over there. He was trying to bait Paul into a foul as well.
Maxey's got 9. 2-man game. And Embiid has 2 more. 10 and counting for the big fella.
Good cut from Maxey, and that takes away that extra defender. It allows Joel to go one-on-one with Gobert.
So a double-double for Embiid. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks in his first 22 minutes. Randall pass deflected by George. Maxey spinning away from traffic.
Nice spin.
And Gobert cleared for takeoff. Again, Minnesota led by 10 in this frame. They were up 53-43. Since then, a 15-4 Sixers run. That is how you respond. DiVincenzo looking to respond for Minnesota. Can't do so. Sixers ball.
Good challenge by Paul George. We talked about contesting shooters today. That was important because this Minnesota team is a good shooting team. Good challenge there from Paul in the corner.
And in between the legs. Tyrese Maxey for 2.
That's borderline fancy and that's borderline necessary. That's the sound play to make. Sometimes a behind-the-back pass is the best pass. You're not showing off. It's the sound play to make.
Especially when you guys are on the same page. They've done that a number of times this season. George knocks it away from Reed. It looked like that one went off of Reed, too. And Paul and George.
Basketball, let's go.
And the Sixers keep their challenge since they were successful on that one. Maxey, some hesitation dribbles. Couldn't get the reverse to go.
Tried to use the rim as protection. Knew where Gobert was the whole time.
Sixers had been on a little 10-0 run. Put to bed by Reed.
Reed catching it high and keeping it high. That's how that play was able to develop.
George tiptoeing along the baseline and then has his pass deflected out. So Sixers here in the 6th spot. So every game extremely important for the Sixers. And maybe just slightly less so for Minnesota.
Like you said, that cushion changes a lot.
Anderson short on the turnaround.
Changes the level of desperation.
Great defense there by Highland. VJ thought he had a clear path to the cup.
Yeah, good hands from Bones. Reached back and just jarred that loose.
He's having a great night. On both ends of the floor is Bones Highland. Here is his twin turbo mate. That is the nickname that Ayo Dosunmu and Bones Highland have already gathered in Minneapolis. Kind of a play on the twin turbochargers and high engines, high performance engines.
Twin turbos make cars go fast.
We know all about turbo. Our Tyrese Maxey's got some 2 free throws coming for the big fella. Hasn't been the most efficient night, but getting it done regardless. We'll keep up with your Sixers wherever you are.
No matter what's usually happening with Joel offensively, he rarely gives back free throws. I was just going to say that. He misses one. 5 of 6 from the line is Joel.
Way to go, partner. Highland heaves and hits another. 4 for 6 from outside tonight. Got altered by Embiid. Joel pushing the pace. And through a couple of walls, getting in the foul for the big fella. Shortchanged them. So a 3-point opportunity for Embiid. And Joel takes advantage. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks for the big fella. Ties us at 68. Islands off front iron. Embiid taps the rebound and Barlow tracks it down.
Good job by Dominic to get the loose ball and then find a teammate.
Joel doubled. Maxey back to him. Randall almost had the steal, but it will be Sixers ball on the side. 11 now on the shot clock. Sumu takes a seat. DiVincenzo back in.
2 screens set for Tyrese.
Maxey around everybody, but it doesn't go. Reed. Anderson now. Bounce pass to Randall for 2.
Yeah, 2.
All right, 4th quarter underway here in South Philly. Pistons here tomorrow night. Wolves are on the second half of a back-to-back. They were in Detroit. Fell to the Pistons last night. Crowd still in it. We're loud at the end of that 3rd quarter. DiVincenzo quiets him, at least for the moment.
Yeah, it's one of the few times we've seen them line up in a half-court set for the Timberwolves to execute. Finding DiVincenzo that time.
Grimes was confident to the cup.
Yeah, coming out the other side, too. Using that rim as a deterrent. Defense is unable to recover.
Quinn just hangs in the air. That one short from Dosunmu, and then a block by Andre. Last few weeks as he did at the start of the season, but like the veteran he is, making the most of them. Shot clock at 4. Randall back to DiVincenzo to beat the buzzer. Drummond battling underneath, knocks that drive, blocked by DiVincenzo. Quentin got downhill again, and Dante got a piece of it. And then scoops it to Randall. And a whistle, so. Randall can't complete the 3-point play. Drummond gets the rebounds. And it's going to be a jump ball. A jump ball like that. Edwards with 8 tonight. Just 3 of 12 from the floor. Good looking shot. Drummond couldn't come away with it.
Really nobody in there rebounding right now if a shot were to go up for the Timberwolves.
Good defense by the Sixers. Drummond takes it away.
Plenty of attention paid. Oh, tough.
Yeah, that was a really tough alley-oop attempt. Grimes did all he could, just couldn't finish.
Yeah, Highland doing everything he could, too.
And then Oubre, a chance to tack on one more. Lead with 11 and 7 off the bench for Minnesota. Make it 12 and 7. Go along with a couple of blocks for Naz Reid in his 23 minutes. From 12, the lead down to 6. With 10 to go here in South Philly.
Minnesota too good to not have a response before everything is said and done. Got the matchup you want.
Edwards, yeah, a little too handsy with Oubre there.
That's on Anthony Edwards.
Gonna be on Anthony Edwards.
Cut.
Into Grimes. Good dish. Oubre, count it. And might have had a three-point opportunity of his own. Looked like DiVincenzo was grabbing him from behind there.
Yeah, good execution, good passing from one to another as well. Quentin finding Kelly.
DiVincenzo briefly denied by Drummond. And Andre the rebound. George
Good pass.
to VJ Anscombe for the flush.
Drew all the defensive attention to him, and that's what left VJ wide open. Waited to the last second for just a catch and finish from 7-7.
Such a smart play by George. Randall has his pass deflected by PG.
Let it fly.
Too strong. Oubre read it all the way and then was knocked down by Reed. No, Hogan initially whistled that it was on Kelly and then corrected himself. So here we go. 9 to play. PG. Andre just mistimed that jump. Edwards with some space. Still looking for that shot, though. 0 for 7 now from 3 tonight is Anthony Edwards. But don't let that fool you, Sixers fans. He had a great fourth quarter last year on April 5th after just looking awful through the first 3.5 quarters. So, got to play to the final horn here. Paul George, no. Andre Drummond, yes, sir! Timeout, Timberwolves.
Sixers thriving after a very potent offensive third.
I need 8 more minutes of good basketball tonight.
Good help.
Good help indeed. George takes it away. Bounces it ahead to VJ.
Lob.
Kelly Oubre Jr. with a 10-finger flush.
All night long, the Sixers have changed ends. And all night long, it's been good for them.
93-79 Sixers. And Reed is going to get called for an offensive foul. Just maybe in the playoffs if the Sixers get there.
I don't see why we don't.
I'll put in at least 100 for it.
I want 2.
PG for 3!
Silky smooth, patient, going at his own pace, his own rhythm, and hasn't been able to get sped up at all.
And Gobert completes the three-point play. So Minnesota not going away. Still plenty of time. Again, these Wolves do not go away.
No, and they're good at picking up their play when they need to.
George downhill, pass to everybody. Can't finish. Thought he was fouled. Some frustration from George there. So I'm going to throw up his hands. Highland. Stolen by VJ. Great read by the rookie, and then stolen right back by Edwards. And he misses the bunny.
Yeah, tough shot there by Edwards. He had an easier one.
PG for 3! On NBC 10, be sure to flip over to NBC Sports Philadelphia for post-game live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Those of you who are already on that channel, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of you, however and wherever you're watching tonight. Desumu, the high arcing 3 again. Minnesota is not going to go away. Still plenty of time in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Chris Finch drawing up something out of that stop action, coming out and executing it, not getting the basket that they desired.
Sixers, though, outscoring the Timberwolves 58-38 so far in the second half. Kelly Oubre Jr. answering right back for the Sixers.
Good ball movement. You see how the ball gets swung from one side to the other. Kelly's reaction was quicker than the defender's was in that case.
About a dozen for Kelly off the bench. 10 for Quentin Grimes off the bench. 3 Sixers starters in double figures as well. Total team effort tonight.
Good
Randall
help.
almost had it taken away by Oubre. Highland from the corner, count it.
And Chris Finch wanted a foul, too.
Don't hit the deck. Wasn't sure if he
He's kind of smarting on that left hip, rubbing it a little.
reached out the foot to try to earn the foul. On we go. PG. Drummond the tap out. George.
Oh, push.
Yeah, Oubre in great position on that weak side. Again, making the most of his minutes. Just 9 minutes for Dre. 6 rebounds, a block, a steal, and 4 points too. George, driving kick. Deflection into the hands of Embiid. Heaves. Had to get it up there because the shot clock was winding down. Almost hit too. Sulu's got 11. Another high arcing three. This one goes. And he's fouled. A 4-point opportunity.
Yeah. The stifled tower usually having an effect.
So a chance for Io to complete that 4-point play. And he does. So 10-point game, 4.5 minutes to go tonight. Here on Broad Street. Maxey with 21.
Good duck in.
Embiid, great pass from George. Embiid thought he was fouled.
Pleading his case to official Goldberg, saying, how on earth can you not call that foul? Little smile at the end.
19 for Joe. Terrence Shannon Jr. Can't connect from the corner. Gobert can't hang on to it. Around 4 minutes to play. Brought to you by Toyota. Kelly Oubre Jr. Short on the wing triple. After starting ice cold from 3 of 17. The Sixers had been better. 4 of 6. Their last 6 attempts from beyond the arc.
Too easy.
And Dosunmu doesn't finish, but nobody there to block out Gobert.
And they had to come over and help on that Io drive, and that's what leave Rudy wide open for that easy putback.
Maxey off the Embiid screen, back to him. Joel with fake, another fake, the fadeaway short.
That's a lot to shoot over. Rudy is a heck of a big target. VJ moving his feet.
All over Bones Highland, trying to slow him down. And got a little too hand. Having a night off the bench. 20 points in Lower Native. All right, well.
So close.
Didn't want to help out just yet. We will have Brickin' for Chicken for the entire 4 quarters tomorrow night against the Pistons, though. So be ready.
Too casual. Too casual.
And here comes Minnesota.
Gotta stay sharp.
Got the lead. Keep your foot on the gas and close the door.
The more you allow this team to hang around, the more confident they become. They become a much more difficult out than they were initially.
Etchkin gets it from Embiid. DJ to his right, to his left. And the finger roll goes for the Eastern Conference. March Rookie of the Month.
How about that little swing through at the end to get it up to the glass?
Stay with him, Kelly. Don't foul. Dosunmu on the reverse.
Io keeping that dribble alive. So difficult for defenders when he's got his options available to him.
17 for Dosunmu. Getting the start tonight for Minnesota. 7-point Sixers lead.
2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
Oubre pass Randall all the way in. Count it and 1 for Kelly Oubre Jr.
Not an easy shake pocket.
Get it back to KO. Get it back to him. Good night. Kelly Oubre Jr. with a knockout punch.
How smart is Paul George, too? Recognizing the hot hand, sees him fill in the lane and gives it right to him.
Highland, a triple-double. Embiid with 19, 13, and 7. And yeah, play that song, Sixers fans. Let's also talk about Kelly Oubre Jr. finishing tonight with 21 points.
Final score, Warriors 76.